Dear friends, welcome to Spacefaring Civilisation, or SFC for short, where fans and filmmakers come together and create optimistic sci-fi and inspire a better future. So today we're going to continue on with the series of videos we're doing with the filmmakers of Cosmos, Elliot Weaver and Xander Weaver. Welcome again. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
So we're going to be talking about inspirations. So let's get philosophical. Let's get philosophical today. Are we alone in the universe?
No.
No, I would say no.
I would say definitely not.
Problem solved. Let's go.
Problem solved. Job done. I would say definitely not. I just can't imagine how that could be, given the scale and the vastness of the universe. Whether we will ever cross paths with another life, intelligent life, I don't know. But I know I'm certain inside myself that there's
got to be
more life out there. Definitely,
it's got to be. I mean, I remember reading something and it said like there are, was it 8 planets now in our solar system or 9 planets in our solar system, and one of them has life. You know, it's 1 in 9, and you know, there's nothing specifically special about our solar system necessarily. You know, there'll be a lot more out there like ours. And it makes sense that there would be a lot of planets out there teeming with life. That's my belief. Like Xander said, whether any will ever cross paths, well, that's different. But yeah.
Totally agree. I mean, there's definitely got to be life out there. I totally believe that. I also believe, intelligent life form also exists. But they haven't contacted us. I believe that they haven't contacted us because we're not mature yet.
Yeah, that's quite possible. No, I think that's a really good viewpoint, actually. And also, I think it's one of those things that when we do eventually discover life elsewhere, whether it's some kind of primitive bacterial kind of life form on Mars or something, I think people will look back and go, did they honestly believe or wonder that there wouldn't be any other life out there? It will seem so obvious because it will just be factual.
So conclusive
that people will find it hard to look back, like the way we look back at people who thought the world was flat, you know?
So what would a future human spacefaring civilization look like? What do you think?
Wow.
That's such a cool question. I believe that a future spacefaring human civilization would be one of unity. I think in order to... I think the vastness of the universe and the scale of space and everything that's out there, and also the effort required, would require us all to kind of come together. And I think I think some people look up to the stars and they feel very, very small. And actually, I think that's an important thing to experience, and I think it's important to realise that we're a small part in this vast open thing. So I think that space travel and a spacefaring humanity would be one where we hopefully have overcome our differences and we've seen beyond the kind of terrestrial problems that we have to explore the universe and learn more about.
Well, yeah, because down here we've all got our differences, but as soon as you put us out there, we're all the same.
We are.
We're Earthlings. Yeah. So I think it would be nice to think that it's very peaceful and harmonious, and we go out into the world. Like you said, the same reason that we may not have been contacted is because we're not mature enough yet. And I think in order to be contacted, we need to be more mature. And I think in order to explore, it will bring that maturity out of us.
Why do you think optimism is needed in science fiction?
I personally like optimism in science fiction because life can be hard sometimes. And, you know, like everybody, we've experienced our ups and downs of tough times. We recognise that obviously people have had much tougher times than we've had. But it's in those moments when life can be hard, when science fiction, whatever form it might take, whether it's in the form of a book, like for example Xander's reading Dune at the moment, or whether it's in the form of a film, it can really give you hope, and it can give you escapism, and it can make you feel that the future is bright. and no matter how hard things might be in the moment, if you keep going, there's sort of light at the end of the tunnel. And also, we fell in love with movies when we were kids, and therefore we fell in love with sci-fi when we were kids. So the kind of sci-fi that we were watching as young boys and young brothers was optimistic. We would watch Star Wars was kind of our main introduction to sort of pop culture sci-fi early on. But our dad loved things like 2001. He had the Arthur C. Clarke book, but we also watched the Stanley Kubrick film. And, we love Close Encounters, and that's so optimistic, and E.T. and Back to the Future. And there are so many to name. You just can't name them all. But they're all films that are about hope. But they're also, I guess they're hopeful because they're about people. And I think it can be sometimes deceiving. Sci-fi, it sort of brackets itself as a genre that's about the big beyond and these big space stations and alien contact and all that. But actually, it's about how humans approach those big events. And optimism in sci-fi is a very powerful and necessary story device.
I think it's also important because it's inspirational. So optimistic sci-fi makes people look at the future and they go, oh, I wonder if we'll have flying cars, or I wonder if we'll have a hoverboard, or I wonder if we'll ever walk on the moon. And it's so often that science fiction then goes on to become science fact. What once was, gosh, imagine that. Wouldn't that be incredible? Inspires people. I mean, even like Elon Musk with his reusable spacecraft, he's just seen old sci-fi of spaceships landing vertically and gone, why don't we just do that? Like, it's inspired him. He's gone, that would be so cool and it makes so much sense. Let's do it. So I think, we love all sorts of sci-fi, but I don't think people tend to look at something like Blade Runner and go, oh, I really want, will we ever have kind of, grimy streets, or will we ever have umbrellas with lights in the middle? But I think people do look at optimistic sci-fi and they go, I want to be there standing on the surface of the moon. I want to be, flying around on a hoverboard or whatever it is. And that's a spark for people. It's an inspiration for people. And it does actually make an actual difference in the world because people grow up and they go on to create they make these things real.
You mentioned the inspiration side of it. It is so true. There's actually a very funny story about Elon Musk and the big rocket that he's building. So the original design that he was thinking had actually fins on the bottom. So the end, the engineers said those fins are not practical. But he said, I want it. It was in Tintin. It was in the Tintin comics. I want that.
Exactly. It's so great, and we all freak out about those spaceships that land vertically because they're so sci-fi. It's so futuristic, and that's so exciting. I love it.
No, it sounds as if he's going to get his fins anyway, so that's good.
I'm sure he will. It's important. It's not always just practicality.
It's very important. And also, it's amazing how many astronauts, when they ask them what inspired you to become an astronaut, they always refer to optimistic science fiction, whether it's Star Trek, Babylon 5, or whatever.
They do. When we made the Apollo documentaries that we mentioned previously, we spoke to some of the engineers that worked on the Apollo program, and they all said, I remember reading Eagle and Dan Dare comics when I was a boy, and that inspired me. And as soon as this became a thing, because as soon as the space race started to get up and running, I wanted to be involved. It was something I dreamt about, and now I could be part of it. So it has a real impact. Like, that's a real impactful kind of part of storytelling. It's like you can actually make a difference in the world. It's amazing.
And that's actually one of the slogans of Spacefaring Civilisation FC is that we don't just create optimistic sci-fi, we inspire a better future.
Wonderful.
So true.
Perfect.
So are you planning another optimistic sci-fi? Can you tell us a little bit about it?
We are planning another optimistic sci-fi, off the back of Cosmos. It's not top secret, but we're very early days in development, so there's not too much to share. But I mean, again, just proof if proof were needed that we really do love this genre. That is what we're thinking of exploring next. And we have a film idea that is sort of more of a sort of a cerebral journey, a cerebral sci-fi into sort of into the origins of our species rather than the future of our species, as in Cosmos looks to the future. This is a sort of a science fiction that looks to the past and where we come from. And we want to make a film about a single character this time, like a solo character movie, and see if we can hinge a film off just one actor with a performance across the whole duration of the movie, and just their soul experience encountering this great discovery. Yeah. I don't know what else, if there's anything else you could add to that.
No. I mean, we have. There's not much detail on it at the moment, but sure. Yeah, it's very exciting, and we are very passionate about science fiction, as you can tell, I hope, and we've got several other ideas as well in the future that we'd like to produce. So we've got to see how things go. We were planning to be out in Los Angeles late spring this year to start pitching to some studios and things like that, but obviously with everything that's going on, we're trying to kind of think about the changing landscape for filmmakers and think about how we can find opportunity in this moment, and actually what kind of stories can we tell given the situation. So that's what we're doing. We're trying to
put our producer hat back on
and get creative with solutions, and it's actually a great fun.
So where can people watch your films, Cosmos, and your other projects?
So people can find Cosmos. It's available worldwide. The best place to go is to go to Vimeo. So it's available on Vimeo worldwide, but also in some countries it's on Amazon Prime and iTunes and other VOD platforms like that. But the best thing to do is if you head over to cosmosmovieofficial.com, there's a little tab there and it'll tell you based on your country where you can see it. But there's information on how we made the movie. You can read the script, listen to the soundtrack, all sorts. So there's plenty going on over there. And also feel free to just reach out to us on social media. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook and all that. So get in touch.
Thank you guys for your wonderful, wonderful advice and sharing with us your experiences. I hope you come back again and tell us all about your optimistic science fiction.
Hope we will too. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
If you have us back.
That's the end of this series of videos. Join us again for other inspiring videos with inspiring filmmakers such as Elliot and Xander. Please put your hands together again to thank Elliot and Xander. Thank you. Yay!
Thank you.
Thanks for having us. Thank you very much.